What's up guys, Cliff101 here, and I am bringing you episode 3 of my Road to Remake series. I know at the end of my video I cut just a little tiny bit out because I didn't have enough time in my recording, because like I said, I'm only restricted to about 15 minutes per recording. But you didn't miss much, trust me. They were just basically talking about coming to a meeting over here, so yeah. Like I was saying in my last video, you want to get your compatibility with Barrett up as high as you possibly can to go on the date with him to get the trophy for the PlayStation 4. That encounter doesn't actually do anything, so it's not a big deal. You want to come here? Hello, Marlene. When you're actually talking to her, remember at the start of the game when we got the flower from Aerith, from the flower girl. We have to make sure that we give the flower to Marlene. It comes up here. Yeah, this doesn't matter here, so you can say yes or no. I don't actually have a name for Tifa. I've completely forgotten what it was supposed to be. So, I think I will make Tifa. She'll love this. Silly. Yeah, there we go. The babe of the game. If she watches this, she'll find that funny. See, flowers come up, so you got to make sure that you give this to Marlene because it adds quite a bit of compatibility to Barrett. I'm pretty sure that it's not compatibility. I can't remember what it's called though. I've been trying to think of it for the last few days, but yeah. So I'm wondering if you guys have even played this game before. It's pretty old. It is probably one of the biggest games in the world. I'm pretty sure it is. It's one of the highest selling games in the world in terms of total sales over the span of just shy of 20 years now this game's been out for. So I would think that a lot of the population has played it in terms of the gaming community population, but I do also know that with the remake being announced, there's a lot of new interest having been generated. Now normally if you're doing a normal playthrough of this, I would go and talk to Tifa over there, but I don't want to because that raises her own point value, so and I don't want to do that. I want to try and minimize hers so that Barrett can catch up. You can talk to anyone in here. It's not really going to change too much, and if it does, it's not really worth it. Jessie just goes on to say about her bomb failure and that she's making you a special ID, or does that come up later? No one really talks about anything particularly interesting. You can actually go up to the TV and watch the news report. It says, you know, Avalanche bombed the Sector 1 reactor, Marco reactor. Marco or Mako? When I first played the game, like as a kid, I always said Mako. But I'm pretty sure in Advent Children they say Marco, but I'm not 100% sure on that. It's been a while since I've watched it, which is actually really surprising because it's probably my most watched movie ever. When it came out on DVD, actually no, before it came out on DVD, oh, no, yeah, when it came out on DVD, we didn't buy it, we rented it out and then, you know, burnt it and copied it and burnt it and onto a disc, and I used to watch it like every single night for the longest time. So I knew that movie pretty well, and then when Advent Children Complete came out, I wasn't a big fan of it to start with because they changed some of the voice actors, and I actually particularly liked Marlene and Denzel in the original release, but they have grown on me. I haven't listened to the original since ACC came out, so I can't actually remember what their voices are like, but I'm pretty sure I would probably prefer them. This one here is how can you say that? That drops her rating down a little bit more. So I will be showing you a slight little glitch within the game later So all of these choices that I'm making now aren't really going to be relevant, but I will come to that later because you need to see it to be able to sort of understand what it is. And I'll probably be constantly talking about the rating as we go, but you know, we'll get there as we go. So right now, both Cloud and Tifa are going through a bit of a flashback. This is Tifa's flashback, and somehow Cloud and us can see it. It's Tifa's memory, so yeah. And there are quite a lot of idiosyncrasies within the game that somewhat don't make sense at the start of the game, and you kind of need to play through it about 2 or 3 times to really get a proper full understanding of the Final Fantasy VII plot and what actually happens in the character development and everything. Because there's a few things at the start of the game that can leave you left a bit confused, and then they're cleared up later on in the game, but you don't realise that it's been cleared up until like you play through it again and go, ah, that makes sense now. Things like Tifa going to say something and then not, you don't really know why she's being like that, and in fact it probably doesn't actually come up in your mind as to why she's about to ask something and then she doesn't, she backs away from it, but it does come up later in the game as to why that is, but you probably don't actually recognize it until you play through it again and go, hang on, she said something here. Is that in regards to what happens later? And that's basically what it is. So there is one particular event that screams out to me in Calm, which is a bit later on in the game, not too far. That if I remember to, I'll bring up to you as to, you know, remember that particular scenario because there's a reason for it. So yeah. So at the moment, just in case you're not reading the text and you're too busy listening to me, what's going on here is that Tifa and Cloud, when they were kids, because they're childhood friends, Cloud called Tifa to the town well of Nibelheim, and he's basically announcing he's going to go and join Soldier, become a first-class soldier, like what Sephiroth was, and as we were introduced at the start of the game, he's ex-soldier. Yep, and basically Tifa is asking him to, when he becomes a hero, come and save her if she's ever in trouble, for some unknown reason, because she didn't particularly like him or get along with him as kids, as far as I can understand. They never hang out or anything like that, so yeah. Payday! Woo! Yeah, that's right, bitches. Yeah, I'll go on the next mission for ya. But he's cheap. He's shortchanging me. I asked for $3 grand and I only get 2. I don't even get that too, by the way. That I never get that pay. It's sort of, I suppose it's earned through battling random enemies, which is something, again, like if you're not aware of the game, enemies, so those random encounters that just randomly pop up, they can drop items, and they can also drop gil. Obviously different enemies drop different things. You there. Barrett snoring kept me up is the right option to choose. It raises his rating up, or I think it lowers Tifa's, I'm not too sure. Either way, it works in Barrett's favour, so. If you want to, you can do the materia tutorial, especially if you haven't played the game before. I would definitely do it, because it does actually go into pretty good detail and pretty simplicity, into pretty simple it categorizes it better. But if you've played the game before, you don't really need to go through it. It doesn't actually affect any of the ratings, so you would understand. I don't need to. Basically just explains how to use the materia system, which I will actually go through and quickly do, to be able to show you anyway. So I want to do a few things first before I go, because I'm doing a normal playthrough. Generally the weapons and stuff don't particularly bother me, but they do this time around. You there? Yeah, go see him, but don't actually go see him. Go upstairs. Upstairs is a bit more tutorial. It teaches you about limit breaks and stuff. So it teaches you the actual battle system. What I want to do, I don't have any of those, but I'm 3. Yeah, well, I'll get 3 of them. I do have a restore materia. I'm not going to purchase another one. Lightning. I don't have fire though, so I will grab a fire. I probably won't need to use that at all. I might just grab a couple of potions, just in case I don't want to use cure. Okay, so materia. Have I got everything equipped? No, I don't. Iron bangle. So you'll see the slots. They're the materia slots, so they'll come up later. And also underneath the slots, you'll see growth where it says normal. You can get double and triple growth on some weapons and armor. That is again in relation to materia, but again I will go through that in just a moment. Okay, so you'll see here your weapon, 2 slots for the Buster Sword. Ice. I'm gonna take off. We're gonna put. No, I'll put restore on. Oh, but Cloud's got the. But no, I don't want him to. Actually, who's got the? I can't remember. Who's got the best magic? 26, 15. So Barrett's got better magic, right? I'll chuck restore on you and the fire, and I will chuck an ice on you. So basically, your materia you'll see in the bottom left hand side sort of panel, you'll see your 4 stars. Underneath that is your AP. That's basically your level system for the materia. So your characters level up with experience, your materia levels up with AP. Super important to remember that. Now, if you get like your double or triple, then you're earning double or triple what the value of your AP is at the end of your battles. So that's your materia system, pretty simplified. I will go into that in more detail when I get more materia to be able to actually link things up better. But like I said, we'll get to that when I get there. I don't want to overcomplicate things too greatly for you. So here we're at the end of the 3rd episode. Not a lot going on in the 3rd episode, just a bit of a tutorial, I suppose, from me. There's not a great deal of action. The next episode I've got a bit of a thing to show you, and I should be able to do it all within the 1 episode. I might take on ×3 just to get through a certain part of it, but we'll get there when we get there. So guys, that's me. I will see you in the next video. I'm actually going to record it just like straight away after I do this, so I can just continue to move on. I've got a couple of episodes to catch up on because I didn't upload for a few days. I apologize for that. There is a reason for it. I have been actually sick over the last few days, so I apologize for that, but there we are. So please leave a like on the video, share it around if you do like the series, or if you've got some friends that have never played the game before and don't really want to waste the time to play the game, please share these videos with them, because I will go through and explain certain aspects of the game as we go through it. I won't let out spoilers or anything like that, or I'm trying not to. But yeah, share the video around for me, guys. Share the channel around, and as always, keep it cool.